Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Learn JavaScript using Foundry VTT. And I think I'm starting to get used to saying that now. So, in our last couple lessons and quite a few videos, I think like 6 videos, we've learned about values, variables, and data types. And we also learned about operators. In fact, we just finished that. So, we're going to do conditional logic now. And then I was thinking maybe after we do some conditional logic, maybe we'll actually, to make this seem like it actually has to do with Foundry, we'll kind of tap into using our conditional logic and stuff with some of the Foundry actual data files, because I think that'd be kind of cool. So, like I said, we're going to do conditional logic. So we're going to go ahead and create a new script. We're going to call it, we're going to do O3. So O3 minus or dash CONDITION AL conditional LOGIC. Did I spell everything right, hopefully? Yes, and we're going to put it in our fundamentals folder. Perfect. So right now we're going to go grab our template real quick, which is really basic. Do Control C, close our template, and paste it in here, and do Control V. So I was thinking, I want to hit F12 real quick and just see how much space it takes up. All right, a good amount of space there. So I was thinking maybe what would be the best way to talk about conditional logic, and for an example, I was thinking maybe we'll kind of use age, different ages and stuff. But let's talk just a tiny bit about conditional logic in general. So conditional logic is also known as if statements. So if something is true, do this. Other words, you can do this, right? Or if something's true, do this. Other words, you don't do anything. So there is no other condition or else condition. So if you watched my videos on programming logic, which I highly recommend, I think I did 6 of them or something like that, but it would help you really kind of understand this stuff a little bit better. But just to show you really quick, this is in flowcharting how you would do conditional logic. So we have, we usually draw with kind of a diamond shape. And we have, if it's true, go this way. If it's false, go this way. Or you could say false, go this way. You could say, however you want to do it. So as your program is running, it comes into the condition here, and then it either exits here if it's a false answer, and exits here if it's true answer, for example. And then inside here, we have our condition. I apologize if my handwriting, I guess it's mouse writing more than anything. So let's say we set a variable for age. I'm going to set it to my current age because I just turned 50. So we're going to say age, oh, that's not easy to do, equals 50. Okay, so let's say, for example, we want to check the age. Maybe this is for drinking, maybe it's for driving. If you're higher than 16, in this case, of course I am. So we're going to do a condition. We're going to check if age is greater than, and let's just do it for driving. So 16, can you get a driver's license, or can you, I think that's right. 16 is when you get your driver's license here in the US. So anyway, what would come in here is age is being passed in. It's checking, is age greater than 16? Well, if it is, then it's going to maybe run something here, some logic here, say, can, this is hard, get DL. Because I'm not even going to try and do it, right? If it's false, it's going to do this little condition down here saying CANT, apostrophe there, get DL. Now, somewhere later on in the program, these branches might, end up coming together again. They might never come together. Who knows? But that's a condition right there. Now, we can have multiple conditions, which we're going to also talk about. However, it wouldn't be one sign followed by one sign. It would be more something like this. Maybe if it's true, right? If it's true, then it does whatever. So here's true. If it's false, you might want to check another condition. So it might actually go into another condition here. And if that's true, then it will go this way. If it's false, it will go this way, so on and so forth. So this is what we're going to talk about is conditions and how we check these. Now, we do conditional logic every day of our life, all day, every day. If the light is red at an intersection, I stop, right? So that would be if light red. So if we said LIGH, light red, that's really ugly R, then this would be to stop, right? Stop. If it's not red, then it might still be yellow. So we could check for light yellow, LI, that's a terrible I, but you get what let's just do yellow, YEL. So if it's yellow, then we would, slow down. And if it's green, because if it's not red and it's not yellow, well, the only other option is green. So we're going to go, go, go. Go, go, go. So you do this all the time. If your hair is oily or greasy, wash it. And I'm sure you can think of lots of examples. So that's what we're going to be learning today. And we're going to be using, I think, age. Let's just determine whether someone's an adult or not, or if they're a child, a teen. We'll kind of work through that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a constant. So we're going to set up const, and we'll call it age. And we're going to say equals. Remember, we did this. You don't need to understand this. But, whoops, I forgot. Date, parentheses, dot, get. Does it have it? Nope. Get FULLYEAR. Right, so get full year. And we're going to minus whatever our birth year is. So in my case, it'd be 1972, which would be 50 years, right? So if we CON SOLE, whoops, not dot, or space dot log, and we do age, and we run this, we will see that it's saying 50, right? So yeah, I guess that's fine. We'll do that. So let's get rid of this console log age for real quick, and let's do our first if statement. So this is a standard if statement. There's no other conditions, so there's not an else part to it. It's just a simple, if this is true, do this. If it's false, continue on. Pretend like you were never here. Okay, so we're gonna do if is how, oh, whoops. Oh, actually I wanted that. So let's go if STATEMENT. So the way you do it is you say if, so lowercase if, just like that. Then you do open and close parentheses. And then for our condition, or our actual results, the processing we do, if it's true, we put that inside some brackets here, curly braces. So whatever is within these curly braces will be executed if whatever the condition we put in here is true. So our condition here, let's see if we're an adult. So we're going to check age is 21. So if we say AGE, and we're going to use some of those operators, the comparison operators. I don't know. I think we call them comparison operators. So we're going to say greater than, whoops, other greater than, or equal to, and let's say 21. So this means if age is greater than or equal to 21, then we're going to do this. We'll do console.log and say, let's just say you're an adult. You are an adult. Bang! Now, if it's not true, it's not going to do anything other than continue the program. So if I was, say, 16, it would hit this, and then it would just continue the program. But because I'm actually over this, it's going to hit this, it's going to run this section, and then it's going to continue the program. So we don't have any else condition is what they're called. So if we run this now, you'll see you are an adult. Now if we changed our age, let's say to what, 2015 maybe, I don't know what age that's going to be, but if we run it now, we didn't see anything. And the reason we didn't see anything is because this is not true. So that brings us to the next thing. So we can say you are an adult, or maybe we want to say you are not an adult. Well, if I just did the console log right here, saying console.log, and do my thing and say you are not an adult, right? If I do this and run it, I'm going to get, hold on, you are not an adult. Oh, that's because we're still young, right? So it works when we're younger. However, if we're older, and go to 1972, oh, not enter, sorry, I meant to run it instead. You'll actually see you're an adult, you're not an adult. So it's giving us conflicting answers. So as you can see, it's just those two. So this is where the else statement comes in. Else is really easy, and it just means otherwise. So if this is true, do this, else or otherwise do this. And all you have to do is type ELSE and then another curly brace, and we put this chunk. Actually, you know what? I'm going to copy this real quick, Control C, because I want to leave the if statement as it is. Then I'm going to hit enter here a couple times and go ahead and delete all this. And let's go ahead and say if else. ELSE STATEMENT. I think that's right. And then we're going to go ahead and just paste it in there. So we have our if statement. So now we have our else in there. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of one of these. And we're going to put this one right inside of here like that. So now if we are an adult, we're not going to see this condition. If we are not an adult, we're not going to see this condition. So here we go. Let's go and test it. You are an adult twice. We're getting the adult up here, and then we're getting the adult down here. That's why we're seeing it twice. If we change this to, what was it, 2015, I think, 2015, we can execute that. And now you see we only get the you're not an adult, because this one obviously is going to be false. This one's going to be false, so it's only going to execute that. So that is our if-else statement. But wait, there's more. So we also have our else-if. So we have the if-else and then the if-else-else, if-else-if, which is kind of like the else. However, it's given us an opportunity to put in yet another check. So remember in our little example here, we had, this would, for example, say, if light equals red, do this. Else if light equals yellow, do this. Else, because we don't have any other condition we're testing, we're just going. We could actually say else if light equals green, go, go. But then that's our only other color of a light in the United States, I guess. I don't know if other places have different color lights. So anyway, that's why we would just have our else as our final. If it's none of the above, go ahead and do this. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to say, we'll say when you're 13, you're a teen. If you're 21, you're an adult. anything else is going to be a child. So let's go ahead and do our next one and do 2 slashes here. I think I wanted 2 spaces. So we're going to call this our if E-L-S-E, else if, like that. And like I said, you can have it just be the else if, and then do nothing. But usually if there's an else if, there's going to be a default value, which is what is ran if both of them are false, that you don't necessarily always want to run. So here is our if else if. So we'll keep using our same example because it works so good. Oh, I didn't put statement on there. S-T-A-T-E-M-E-N-T. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to do if, right? Actually, let's just copy what we have here because it's going to work great for us. Control C, and I'm a terrible typer. So if the age is greater than equal to 21, so that means we're covering 21 all the way up to infinity, I guess, you will be considered an adult. Else, and we're going to say if, and because we have that if, we can actually do another parentheses and have a second condition. So let's see if maybe you're a teen, right? So we're going to say age is greater than or equal to 13. So technically, 50 is still greater than or equal to 13. But if you remember, this is only going to go one way. So if I hit this and it's true, it's going to exit here. And it will never do this second test. So that's why this is going to work just fine, is because if we're older than 21, it's never going to see this second condition of age 13. It's going to say, okay, I ran this, now I'm jumping to the very end to the next program statement. So that might look a little confusing, making you think, well, if I'm age 50, I'm still older than 13. But technically, it's never going to get to this statement. So this will be, you are, let's do a teenager. A Teenager. So we're going to have a teenager, and then let's just do our last else because we want to have just a default option. So anything that is not true here and not true here will default here, and if we hit enter, it didn't give us our other squiggly, but that's okay. So let's go ahead in here, and we're just going to say you're a child. Console.log, and say that, and say you are a child. Chili, you are a chili. You are a child. So if we run this now, let's go ahead and clear out this. So we're going to get you're an adult, because, no, actually we're not. We're going to get, I'm not sure, 2015, that's 5 to 20. We should get you're a child, I believe, and you're not an adult when we run this. So let's go ahead and run it. There you go. So you are not an adult and you are a child. So once again, we get the you are not an adult from this guy up here. And then down here, it says is, what did I say that was, like 8? I don't know. Whatever the age is less than 21, so that's false. Whatever age is less than 13, so that's false. Well, this is our only other option. Now, if we wanted to say infant or something like that, we could have another else if and say, you know, child is, what, maybe 5, toddler is 3 or 2. I don't know how it works. And then infant. So hopefully that makes sense for you. So we have our else if else if statement. But a lot of times, if you have an else if statement, you're going to have a final else to say, if all else fails, this is the one. This is the default that will go out. All right, so next, let's go ahead and jump into our example This is kind of following that, but not necessarily. So I wanted to also show you, you can actually nest your if else or your if statements. For example, let's say, let's just do nested, nested if statements. So let's, for example, here, how do I want to do this? All right, let's do your stage in life. So let's do a let statement here because we're actually going to create a variable that can change. So instead of a const, we're going to do let, and let's call it our stage, as in our stage in life. We're not going to set it to anything, so the default will set this to undefined. If we just end it right there, it's going to be undefined. I forgot my little my semicolon right there. So we're just going to create a variable called stage. It's not going to have anything assigned to it. And I don't know, let's do let maybe gender. So whether you're male or female. And let's go ahead and set that, well, equals to male. So I'm a male. This is not going to be a practical example, by the way. Let's do that. And let's check if, let's kind of use our first example up here. Let's do our, technically I guess it's our, trying to think, I think I just want, let's do this. Control C, come down here. So we're going to check what our age in life is. So we're going to say if age is greater than 21, we're going to say you're an adult. But maybe, actually I'm not going to output anything right here. Let's do this. We're going to actually assign stage to adult. S-T-A-G-E, stage equals, and do A-D-U-L-T, and like that. So there's our adult. So we're going to set stage to adult. And then we're going to check whether you are a female or male, right? So we're going to say if, and G-E-N-D-E-R, whoops, I forgot my parentheses, G-E-N-D-E-R, equals, because we want it to be exact, because we have it up above, and we're going to say male, right? If you're a male, then we will set gender to the word male, equals male. Otherwise, or else, we're just going to set it to female. Gender equals female. I always forget my little semicolons when I'm not thinking straight. All right, and then the other will be not an adult. We'll leave that at, it will, but let's do, how should I do this? Let's go ahead and do this as stage. Stage equals, and I don't want to be not, maybe just not an adult. We should probably get rid of this as being uppercase. We're just making it a little pretty now. Let's see, we're at 24 minutes. I think we might be able to get through all of this in one sitting. I don't think we're going to have multiple. It might go a little long, but I apologize for that. All right, and then after all that's run, we're going to take our gender and our stage and we're going to output them. So CONSOLE, console.log, parentheses, and we'll use the little tick marks and say the PER person is a, I should probably say, well, it should be a or an. I could do this to make it a little clearer. So do a adult, an adult, I mean, and not an adult. That way it won't have that A in there. So the person is an adult, or person is not an adult. Okay, that works. So let's go ahead and do that, and do STAGE like that. So we're doing our stage there. And then let's just output the gender, right? So comma, and is a male or female, that will work fine. Do and string, I mean, parenthesis, there we go, the squigglies, and do GENDER. That should work. And then do period. So at the very end of all this other stuff, I think this first one's going to actually come back saying we're male because it's male right there. But it's going to say not an adult, right? So let's make sure it works. We get an error. All right, where's our error? Unexpected token. We have an extra parenthesis on right here. All right, let's try this again. There we go. So you're not an adult. There we go. The person is not an adult. That looks really weird. DULT. And is a M. Now the reason it says is a M is because not an adult, else, gender, GNDR. Actually, I gotta look that up, figure out, because it says and is a M. Oh, I'm in the wrong else. That's why. Oh, actually, this does not make sense to have it here, because it's not even going to check this one down here. That's okay. We'll just leave that, because really that's not the most important part. If we go change it back to my year, 1972, we'll actually see that it is going to work right, and it will even say is a male instead of an M. So here you can see the person is an adult and is a male. Now we could actually quickly fix, no, we would have to take this same if statement and put it in here, which would be bad programming practice to have a duplicate of something, which means you would probably want to restructure this to be another way. Technically, you'd probably want this if statement to be completely out of the first if statement, but we were trying to just give an example of a nested if statement. So it's fine, we're good. So now there also is a way that you can actually do what's called a ternary operator. And I don't think we really talked about the ternary operator when we were talking about all our stuff, but it's basically an if statement in one line, and you can nest it, but it's not recommended because it gets... The biggest thing about coding is make it legible. Make it so you understand it and you can look at it and understand it. Not like this piece right here, maybe up here. But you want to make it so you can easily look at it, figure out what it's doing. And with the ternary operator, a lot of times if you nest it, it gets really cryptic and confusing. Sure, you have to type less, so it's good for the lazy person like me, but it kind of, you'll see, it makes it kind of harder to understand what's going on. Now, we're not going to do an example of a nested one. We're just going to show you the basic one, but I will show you basically how you would do it. So we're going to do a single line if STATEMENT, and this is also known as the this uses the ternary operator, TERNA, ternary OPERATOR. So there we go. So the way you do this, the ternary operator is kind of a combination. It's the question mark, and then you would have your true statement. So actually, let's do it this way. So you don't have to have the word if. You don't have the word if generally in a ternary operator if statement. Basically, you have your condition. Then you tell it, okay, here's my true false. So if it's true, you will do this first thing, and the separator will be a colon, and if it's false, you do that. Now, if I wanted, I could replace true with another ternary operator, which would expand it and kind of start making it look confusing, because if it's true, I'm going to do another condition, which would have something like this, and then it would have the question mark, and then I would have another true and false. Where's my question mark, and then I would have another true and false. So I would have true, and I kind of messed this up, and a false. And as you can see, really quickly, this gets kind of confusing, especially if this one also had a ternary operator. So usually you don't want to nest these. So let's go ahead and do our example here. So let's do our age. Why not? We've been doing that all along. So we're going to simply use our ternary operator, and we can use it to set a variable. So for example, we can basically do what we did up here in a single line. And as long as it's a single thing, it's not too bad. So we're going to do const. We're going to do const. Actually, I don't want to do const. I think I want to do, well, we already set stage up here as nothing. So we're going to see stage. We're going to say stage equals, and then we have our ternary operator. Now, technically, you don't even need these parentheses. I did that just to help you understand the condition. I like putting parentheses because it makes it more legible for me. But once again, if you're kind of lazy and don't want to have to do that, technically, you don't have to. So if we say age is greater than equal to and 21, then here's our thing saying this is an if statement. If it's true, we're going to do the following. So we're going to say, let's just do this and say I'm trying to use different verbiage so you can see it easier when it pops up here and know what it is. So let's do a biggin, B-I-G-G, because we haven't done that. I don't even know how to spell biggin. Let's do biggin like that. And if it's false, we'll just say munchkin. I don't know. Is a M-U-N-C-H-K-I-N. If that's offensive to anyone, I apologize. So here what it's going to do is it's going to do this if statements, and it's going to say if it's true, it's going to return is a biggin. Other words, or else, it's going to return is a munchkin. Now, we can't actually do an else if and all that, but we can nest other ones, which is kind of doing the same thing. So hopefully it's not too confusing. So now we're going to go ahead, console.log, and we're going to do, what should we say? I don't know. Let's just output our stage. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and run it. And at the bottom here, you see is a biggin. If we go change this back to the little or the munchkin or whatever, so 2015, and clear it. At the bottom now you'll see it is a munchkin. So this is the ternary operator in use. It's basically the question mark telling it that this is going to be your two values, true and false. Hopefully that makes sense for you. So the last thing I wanted to cover, and we're already at 34 minutes, so I want to hurry through this, is called a switch statement. So if we have a single value that we want to check against multiple things quickly without a huge if, else, if, blah, 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 all that fun stuff, we can use what's called a switch statement. Now, I've actually pre-written this one because it's more typing. What we're going to do is output what the current day is. Now, this uses our date function or our date method object, kind of like we did get full year at the very top here. This is going to get the day whether it's Sunday through Saturday. It's going to return a 0 for Sunday and 6 for Saturday. All right, so I'm going to copy my code that I already wrote, and I'm going to walk through what it's actually doing. So I'm going to hit C there, and I'm going to hit V here. And what I'm going to do here is actually say this is a switch statement. S-W-I-T, switch, S-T-A-T-E-M-E-N-T. So this is a switch statement right here. Can I make you bigger? That's pretty much as big as I can do on a, which is actually good. We can see pretty much everything. So you start by saying switch, and then you have your condition. In this case, we're doing a condition is just getting the value of the current day. So today, for example, is Saturday, so it's going to return a number 6. So this whole chunk will be replaced with the number 6. Then we have our opening curly brace, and at the very bottom we have a closing curly brace. Then what we have is the cases, in case it's a 0, in case it's a 1, in case it's a 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, an important thing with a switch statement is you have the case and you use a colon to say, if this is the case, do this. So we're going to set the date to Sunday, right? And this break is telling it to not do anything else. It's saying exit the switch. So let's say, I'm trying to think of what maybe is a good example. I can't think of one. But for example, if I took out this break and today was actually Sunday, it would actually return Monday because it would do case 0. It would say Sunday, but because there's not a break, it would also say case 1, and it would continue checking. Actually, in this case, it would actually do the right thing. But where you're checking a range, you need this break for it to exit. Other words, you might get more than 1 as your reply. So what this is going to do is it's going to take, for example, I said this is going to return 6. It's going to say, is this 6? No. So it's going to go to this one. Is this 6? No, so on and so forth. Of course, I had to record on Saturday when it's the last one. So yada, yada, yada. We get all the way down here. It says, is this 6? And it says, yes. So we can say day equals Saturday. So it will output at the end, today is Saturday. Now there's also a default case. And I'm trying to remember in JavaScript, I don't think you do case default. I think you just do default. So in this case, we would never hit case default, right? I guess we'll find out if it runs in a second. But in this case, we would never hit case default. But if for whatever reason we had a 7 or a -1, or higher than 7 or lower than -1, it would actually say, okay, I've done all these, here's the default, and I believe this is the syntax. I'll go double check it real quick. But then we could say day equals, and let's just say error, because hey, we're never supposed to see this. Error, and a semicolon. I'm trying to, maybe let's do this. I don't want to set it today. I'm going to do con. Actually, I'm going to do it as a let because I want to try and error it out. So we're going to do let and today equals, and we're just going to take this condition right here and put it here. Technically, it's not a condition because it's just checking a value. And then here we're going to today like that. So right now we're saying let today equal this. What we're going to do to try and break it is we're going to set today, today equals 7 or 8, 9, 10 or -1 and so forth down. So let's go ahead, clear out this, and imp promise. Let me just double check, make sure everything's okay. I kind of get the feeling it's this. I'm going to Google that really quick because I didn't have that in my example. JVASCRIPTSW switch statement. And if I go here, it is just default colon. New day, get day. Did I do this wrong up here? Where am I? Right here. Today. That should be fine. New date, get day. Let's comment this out real quick. I just want to go back to the default, how I had it originally. See if we're still getting that same error. So if we do that, date, get today, case, make sure everything's spelled right. We are getting, oh, this is an error right here. What is it? Oh, expected break. Because I have the default now. Is that what my error was too? Okay, BREAK. Alright, I think maybe that's good. Let's try it. So this is trying to do a promise, which I didn't want to get into yet. Alright, let's... I'm not sure why we're getting the promise, to tell you the truth. Let's see if we just set this as an individual value. Let's say today is 6, which it really is, and see if we're still getting that. We're going to talk about promises and async and all that stuff later on. I definitely don't want to go into that yet. Day is not defined. I forgot to define day. Was that the error I was getting? That might have been the one I was getting before. Hold on, I'm going to hit Z. Oh, whoa. Control Y. Let's not hit Z, apparently. Control Z does not do what it normally does. Alright, let's do this. So we're not... Oh, yeah, that makes sense, actually. We need to say let day and semicolon. Let's see if that works. Okay, clear that. There we go. So now we have today is Saturday. We have a weird parenthesis somewhere right here. So we have today is Saturday. That works fine. I wish it wouldn't always jump all the way up to the top. So if we actually go and do this, this should all work now. I know why it was doing what it was doing. So if we come in here and set this to V here, it should still work fine, because it will resolve this to the number 6, which is going to give us the exact same thing. And today is Saturday. So now we can actually do what I was trying to do. We can change this to today, T-O-D-A-Y, and we can uncomment the Saturday one real quick and leave that today as is. So if we do it, once again, we're not going to see a change. We're still going to get this as Saturday. Now, if we go do anything other than 0 through 6, we should error out. So let's go ahead and just undo that, which will reset 6 to 7. And if we run that, let's go and clear it. And now today is error. So I wish I would have actually had that in my code before, because I totally forgot about that and forgot to actually set day as a value. But other than that, it worked okay. I think we covered a whole lot, and I'm sure it might have felt like a lot to bite off and chew, but really this is one of the core things of programming. Conditional statements and your loops. And I believe, let me just check my notes as to what we're doing next. I think we're actually going into loops next. Yes, we are. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I know we're at 45 minutes apologize for that, but we just push through. So if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when I upload new videos and all that fun stuff. Check out my other channels, my Discord, Twitch, Twitter, all that fun stuff as well. I say fun stuff a lot. Information's in the video description. And tell other people about my channel. Check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.